Good day, business finance folks. We're onward on our project one, working on. We're we're going to be doing a sales forecast today. Yeah, we should have finished our starting point, right? And we went through our payroll. Okay, we got that done, sure. And we went through our additional operating expenses. And so the next big thing, and really one of the last things, believe it or not, is to do our sales forecast. We'll have a couple other things to do to make things correct, but we'll get there. So I'm gonna unprotect the sheet here because I just want to type in my company name up here again too. So Cooper Scoops or something like that, right? Okay. And remember, for mine, I'm gonna do pooper scooping, and I'm also going to do um, uh, dog walking. Right, so I'm gonna do a little bit of both. So um, probably two different types of pooper scooping. I think maybe once a week, once per week. Um, This is units. I think that they're used in plural form. Project dresses bikes. I think just one. And my sales price per unit then will be, I'm going to charge $10 for those. Now, I don't have a cost per unit, and some of you might. If you're in retail, if you got a little retail business, or you're selling a cup of coffee, or you're doing something like that, that's where you figure that cost per unit. And a good way to do that might be to come here, okay? Cost of goods sold calculator, right? Raw materials, let's say again you're selling coffee, you got the product line, change that to coffee, time frames per month, right? How much then in a month's time, if you sell, let's say you're just going to sell $5,000 worth of coffee, your actual raw materials might be 2,500, right? Labor used to produce the product. Now, that's only direct labor. Okay, if you're hiring people that you're paying just a hourly wage to be there all day, that doesn't count. Do not put that in here. Okay, this would be the type of labor used to produce a product. So if it was more of a direct thing, mechanics, for example. Let's say you're opening a car shop, and you might have somebody working for you. Okay, and your shop rate's $50 an hour. And you're going to pay a mechanic $30 an hour. Okay, you could put that in there then, right? Okay, you're going to pay him $30 an hour for the time that he puts into the work that he's doing, right? Your net's $20, which you're going to use to, pay the heat and electricity and all those other things, right? Okay, costs associated with shipping and storing. You might have that, depending on your business. Okay, you might have to pay for some shipping and whatnot. Production facility expense, probably not for most of us, right? That this would worry about. This is going to be more for manufacturing. Okay. If, on the other hand, what if you're a service, and actually my mechanic one would probably be better down here, right? Because you would have it's more of a service. It is a service. It's not more of a service. It's absolutely a service. So I'd have done a better job of having that down here. This again would be if you're manufacturing, and I don't think anybody selected a manufacturing, but if we had a service business and you're charging a direct labor, or you're paying somebody a direct labor, okay? If you were a real estate firm, right? And let's say, real estate firm typically charges a 6% commission, and half of that goes to the real estate agent that was involved. Okay, then you would put that in there, right? You'd estimate what your sales were going to be, and then the half would be for the real estate agent that was involved. Okay. How else might you do it? You might do that if you're a house cleaning service, right? And you might charge $30 a week to clean a house and pay your worker $20 to do that. And you're supplying all the tools and equipment and the van and everything else. Okay, that may be a direct cost, right? If you're paying them by the hour, don't include it in here. Okay, so kind of A little bit of a twist that you might have to mess around with a little bit, and if you have some questions, run them by me. Okay, so I'm going to do that. I don't have any cost, so I'm going to just put a 0 in there. Okay, I might have a twice a week option. Hope this works out okay. Again, I'm just going to put 1, kinda. Ooh, no, let's put 2 in there, right? Since it's twice a week, maybe. And I'm going to charge them $6. Oops. Okay, because I'll go clean it twice, and that's per dog, right? That's once per week per dog. So if they got 2 dogs, I'm going to charge them $20, right? And if it's twice per week, I charge them $12. Okay, that way they have a little cleaner yard, but it's a little more expensive for me to have to go over there more than once a week, right? Okay, and then dog walking, that might just be a 1 feet type of thing. You know, I'm going to put a 1 in there. You know, I walk a dog for an hour, and I'd probably charge them $10, okay, for doing that. And my cost in that again is 0. You know, and I remember, I'm going to have some cost in this. I'm going to have supplies. I'm going to have some, you know, the nitrile gloves and those types of things that I'm going to want to have with me. But I've entered those in my supplies. Could I enter them as a cost of goods sold? Yeah. You know, and then I'd have to take them off of my operating expenses. Right, I got supplies here. You know, $25 a month should be enough for garbage bags, those types of things. Okay, and so you could argue either way, right? So dog walking, there you go. You know, I guess I could say if I had dog walking, maybe I'd have 2 dogs at a time, and I'd just charge $17.50 or something like that. Okay, and again, my cost. So, oh. 7, that's good. 17.5. Let's try that. There we go. Okay, so here we go. If I do, and it breaks it down. Okay, so I've got my once per week. So now I'm just going to estimate how many customers I might have, and it's going to auto-complete this stuff for me. This is so nice, right? So if I have let's see, in a month's time, you know, if I have 1 customer, I would do it 4 times a month roughly. I could even say, argue 4.5 times, because that's really what how many weeks are in a month, right? About 4.5. Okay, and so if I have, you know, what if I have 10 customers? That'd be 45 times each month. Would that be right? Yeah, that would be 45 times each month. So I'm gonna just estimate that. I got to make sure that my hours and everything work out okay here, right? So if I did that, if it took me you know, half an hour for each one, you know, that's 20 hours in a month. That's probably okay, a little better than 20 hours per month. So yeah, we'll do that. Okay, boom. Okay, then I just copied that out because I estimate it's going to be the same each month, right? Shouldn't change. I could, and it would be reasonable, you know, in a deal like this, and that might make sense. Let's say instead I'm going to start at just 30, and the next month I'm going to go up to 35, and the next month to 40, and then the next month to 45, and maybe on out. That might make some sense, right? I'm going to kind of grow it, okay? And then on the 2 per week, okay. Yeah, probably, you know, fewer people that would have me come over twice a week to pick up their dog poop. You know, I'll have to see how this works out because I've got a 2 in there. So what if I enter in 1? What's that do for me? So that's only $6. So even though I've got 2 up there, it really doesn't matter. I still have to enter in twice as many, right? So if I have somebody that has me come over twice a week, maybe I have 20 people, that'd be 40. No, I wouldn't have 20. That might be in a month. Oh, or 20 times. So I got to think this through. Maybe each week I would have 5 people that would have me come over twice a week. So that would be 10. And again, and that'd be 45 there as well. Okay, so, but I might do it the same way and just kind of increase this. Ooh, that does give me an increase. No, that's right. Okay, so 30, 35, 40, and 45. Okay, just kind of follow it. Make sure that your numbers kind of look like you're maybe expecting, and it fits the hours and stuff, right? Okay, so would it be reasonable that I might make $450 a month? That would be 45 times. Okay, and again, that would be 10 customers that I would have basically doing it once a week. Yeah, it's probably a day, 1 day a week, basically that I could go and do that. And it would be similar here, fewer customers, right? But I'm doing them twice a week, okay? And so, yeah, I think that makes some sense. Dog walking with the one dog, going to do that an hour at a time, $10 an hour. I'm not going to do a ton of that, I don't think, but I gotta make some money. One thing about it too, make sure if you come over here and you see your income statement, okay, and it's starting to fill it in, but I'm still minus 3,800. Okay, I started at minus about 12,000, so right? Okay, so I know where I need to be to break even. Okay, this probably takes me another, this half a day and half a day, because I might be walking these dogs though every day, right? 5, 6, 7 days a week, probably just 5 days a week. The owners probably take them out on Saturday and Sunday, and some of them 3 days a week, and some of them la-da-da. And so a little bit tougher, but each month, then let's just do that. So if I'm doing roughly 5 days a week, that's 20 days, okay, per month that I'm walking dogs. How many single dogs might I do that for? Yeah, 5. Okay, but that's 5 dogs 5 times a week, or 5 dogs 20 times, so that's like 100 times. Is that right? Yeah. Ooh, that'd be quite a bit if I was doing that 100 times a month. Yeah, that would be 30 or 3 times a day, that I might be walking. Sure, I think that might make some sense. That might be a little aggressive. So let's start smaller. Okay, let's start at 50, 60, because I'll build up, right? 70, 80, 90, and 100. Okay, so I'll build up, and then from there I should maybe kind of level off. That's pretty good income if I could get that many customers. But walking 2 dogs is going to be a lot less. If I had 50 there, I'm getting paid a little bit more, but I'm not going to do anywhere near that many. I may only do 10, let's say 15, 20. Because how many people actually have 2 dogs, right? And maybe I'll just hang it right there at 20. Okay. A lot of these customers probably be duplicate. I mean, I might walk their dog, and I might clean their poop up both, which would be kind of nice, because then you could kind of combine them in a sense. Okay, anyhow, so now I'm gonna gross about 22,000 and net about that, because I don't really have a cost of goods sold. Okay, so I've done my sales forecast for year 1. My operating expenses for year 1 I've kind of had in there, so that's kind of nice. So let's come over and take a look at my income statement and see where I'm at. Oh, look at that. It's nice. It enters in there, what my income should be. My cost of goods sold, I have none. You guys might well have some. Okay, so my total, my payroll, remember I'm paying somebody to help me a little bit. So I'm going to pay somebody, part-time person, to kind of help me. They'll walk some of the dogs and stuff, or maybe do it in days that I got to stay home and do book work and whatnot. Okay, so I have a net profit of $8,200. Actually, that's not very much for the amount of work that I'm putting in, but that's for my first year. I'm just going to estimate that, so that's all right. Okay, so I like that, and that takes me to. It actually does my sales forecast if I want to do an increase. Okay, so I'm going to go to year 2. Okay, I don't think that I'm going to grow by 10%. I think I'm only going to grow by 5%. So I'm going to change that. Look at that. It automatically changes those numbers for me. It's a wonderful program. Makes your life easy. But I'm going to say that it's going to grow by 5%. Should grow by 10, but just say that. Additional inputs. This is estimating how fast your people are going to pay you, right? Okay, and it says in this case, and what they've got in the default is that they're going to pay you 30% are going to pay you within the first 30 days, 30% between 30 days and 60 days, and 40% of them way out. My customers are better than that, or else I'm not going to keep them for customers, right? I'm going to have 80% of them are going to pay me within the first 30 days. 15%, I'm only going to have 5% that pay me, okay? And I think that's going to stay consistent, so I'm going to change that, okay? This will change my cash flow a little bit because it means that my money will be coming in a little bit earlier, okay? You got to make sure that this equals 100%, okay? So this has to be equal to 0, which you could say, right, if you could estimate that somebody's not going to pay you, I mean, that would be normal in a business that you're charging, right, or that you have to go collect on. Probably that would be less than 5%. So if I were going to do that, I have to change one of the percentages up there. I'm gonna estimate that people are going to pay me pretty well. Okay, so that little additional inputs, I changed that, and now I want to go to the cash flow and take a look, because I think I just need to do a couple other things, right? Right now it's showing that my cash balance, ending cash balance, $10,200. So that's pretty good, but I haven't paid myself anything. Remember, I had a payroll here in year 1. I had a payroll. I'm paying a part-time person, minimum wage, 10 hours a week to kind of help me out a little bit. Okay, but I don't have anything in there to pay myself, and this is where that comes into play. Owner's distribution. Okay. And I'm gonna, I've only got 10,200 to work with, so I'm only gonna take out $750 a month. Okay? Now, this may be so realistic, but okay. So my ending cash balance is $1,847. It says here in this month I had a line of credit balance. I should pay that back, except I won't have enough. Okay, I can pay it back 200. And what this is saying is that I didn't have quite enough money, right, in those months. What I should do then is take less, right? Okay. I didn't have quite enough money, so I had to borrow some money. You can see here I've got an ending cash balance that's big enough that I could pay it back, okay, without any problems. But I think it would make more sense, since I'm estimating that I'm going to build this business up, right? I was starting kind of slow. Let's do that then with my disbursements here and see if that'll fix that. Let's say I just take $450 the first month, maybe $500 the second month, $550 the third month, $600 that month, $650, $700. Okay, there we go. Gives me I say positive the whole way. Sort of kind of important. I don't want you ending with a line of credit balance, and so pay some attention to that. Just finagle the numbers. Again, I'm more interested that you learn how these numbers work and that you're looking at these statements and kind of figuring it out than I am getting extremely reliable numbers like I would expect in entrepreneurship. Okay. So there, I've got, I'm going to take out about $8,000. I'm still going to end up with $2,200 in a cash balance. I only started, something less than that. Okay, $1,000 or so. So, yeah, that's not too bad. Okay, for my first year in business, right? And one other thing I want to go look at then, okay, and that's the balance sheet. And do I balance? Okay, first year. Ooh, I balance. Warning, not balanced. Okay, here's what happened. Okay. When we put this in at 1 year, okay, without getting into the complexities of the spreadsheet, what I figured out was that putting that in at 1 year, it changed these prepaid expenses, and so it kind of carries them onto here incorrectly. Okay, if I went back, and I'll just do that really quick. Let's say I change this to 3 years. Okay, and I go here to look at the balance sheet. Okay, I don't have numbers there, and it says that I'm balanced, but I like this better at 1 year, okay, because those initial expenses I think we're going to write off in that first year. That would be normal, okay, but I'm not balanced, and so all I need to do is come up here and delete this. Oh, first I gotta unprotect my sheet and put in my 1, 2, 3, 4 code, and delete this, and delete this as well. Okay, and I should balance now. Bingo. You know, I'm kind of done. I might go back and I might want to change a few. Like, 'cause I got sales forecast for years 3 and 4, so you might want to change the numbers there, your percentages. You know, I can change this now. You know, to oops, I changed that to 1, and I wanted to change it to 10, back to 10, and I'm going to change this to 10. Okay. You know, and what's that do? You know, my forward-looking income statement then is that I'm gonna make a little bit more money. Awesome. Okay. My cash flows in years 1 and 3 are going to improve a little bit. Ooh, I'm gonna end up with quite a bit of cash, but I'm not taking out. I'm not showing. Okay, and I need to do that then. Okay, owner's distribution. I didn't take much out, and I'm not showing anything here, so I need to put that in. I started at $750. I'm gonna go up to $800. I'm gonna give myself a raise. Okay. And then I'm going to go up to $900 here. I'm going to give myself a big raise. Okay. And I stay positive cash. Okay. Not a bunch, but I'm positive, and that's okay for this type of a small business. Okay. Check those things out on yours. You know, make sure you've got some semi-realistic kind of numbers in there that look okay. My income statement, you know, that shouldn't have changed, right? Okay. Now, why is it, you know, I'm only showing X amount of cash, but I'm actually showing this in income? This is what I have to pay taxes on. It doesn't matter what I take out of the business. You know, I'm taking $7,950 out, but what I'm going to have to pay taxes on is $8,215. It's pretty close, right? I'm taking out just about what I'm making, and I can compare that year after year. So, you know, my subsequent years improve a little bit. That's awesome. Changing those things, look at that, it still balances. You know, it's a sweetheart program that it takes all this stuff into consideration. It's really, really nice and makes it really, really easy for you guys. It calculates a break-even point for me. Okay, it gives me some financial ratios that are kind of interesting. You know, these are you know, current ratio, quick ratio based on the balance sheets. They'll start low, right? They get better. Boom, boom, boom. You know, debt to equity, same thing. They start high actually and improve a little bit. Debt service coverage, that's supposed to get bigger, and it does. And so, you know, my ratios are looking good. You guys ought to take a look at those. It wouldn't surprise me. You know, I might even make a little assignment later, because this was so easy with this new template that I might have to come up with a little assignment here yet for project 1, where we talk about some of the ratios and whatnot of your businesses. So I'll get people's in, and I'll kind of have a look at them, and we'll see. Operating expenses too, and this is another case where I could come in and make some adjustments. You know, this is projecting like a 3% increase in these things, which is probably consistent with inflation, and that may be okay. I may have some things that would go up more than that. Let's say insurance, right? It might go up more than that, so I might want to, you know, I might want to estimate that would go up a little bit more. I was looking for my payroll for future years. Payrolls years 1 to 3. You know, I got a nice increase there of 10%, and holy cow, then 30% increase. I'm not going to give them that big of a raise, that's for darn sure. Of course, you know, they might get more hours in, and so that might be a reasonable assumption, right? Put that in, okay? Yeah. So it automatically calculates those for me. But look at those percentages. You may want to mess around and change those some. Other than that, you know, we're pretty well done, and like I said, because it's fairly easy, I don't be surprised if I come through with a little assignment, or at least a questionnaire then about probably everybody's. I'd make it more general, but have you answer some questions about your ratios and those types of things that will show a little more understanding of the forms and the template. Thanks, and have a great day.